Do that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your deciding game number 3. Mineski taking on Rave. An all-Filipino shakedown, smackdown. It's been two pretty one-sided games here, GoDz. Mineski got that early lead in game 1, never really looked back. Same for Rave in game number 2. Both teams had their moments where they kind of threw bodies away, but it wasn't enough to turn the tides of those games.
Yeah, that was like the game plan for both losing teams. Like, let's throw enough bodies and hope something goes our way. Finally, we may win a fight, or throw all our ultimates just for the one Ember Spirit, but they couldn't turn either game around. So game 3 maybe going to be a bit closer. Draft underway, guys. We're going to hop right into it, see what the teams have in store. Vengeful Spirit. This has been the top commodity pick. Rave for the first time at first pick, and, well, they'll, for the first time, get the Vengeful Spirit.
So, uh-oh. Well, we
Disaster in the studio. Should have been using my Mighty Mug, man. I did my Mighty Mug promo, and I'm not using it, and now
it looks like the cat peed on the desk, because you spilled your Red Bull.
This Red Bull is an interesting color.
Fortunately, it's sugar-free, though, so it's not sticky.
Yeah.
It's not like that sugary stuff.
Yeah, this is the good stuff.
No, not for our producer. Our producer wants the classic. But yeah, here we go. We'll clean that mess up. In the meantime, what is the game plan going to be here? Rave, I believe you said they won the coin toss, so they had choice in games 1 and 3. The game 1, Mineski was Dire side. Then I guess you said Mineski chose first pick and Rave chose Dire in game 2?
Yeah, game 1 Rave chose Radiant, game 2 Mineski chose first pick.
So this game, it looks like Rave what did they choose?
Rave chose first pick.
They chose first pick. And this time Mineski chose Radiant.
Yeah. They chose, well, they never had a choice of side. They chose pick on both games.
Gotcha.
It seems Mineski prefer Radiant and Rave prefer Dire, at least based on game 2. So both teams get their preferred side. The contest is over pick, and Rave.
And you gotta, with Rave, they are a team that like to pull out those push strats once in a while. Something that Mineski could be a little worried about. There's even like the Dusa-centric push strats we've seen. Lion Chen has been picked up. Not sure if the Dusa is the ideal carry versus this type of draft. With that mana drain, the Hex can be pretty nice. But I think the big thing here for Mineski is they are going to finally get their hands on that precious Chen. It's been denied to them pretty much every game up until now.
Yeah, so first Chen game, Witch Doctor gets picked up. One of those rare games where both teams are like, we're not revealing our cores, we're not revealing our strategies. Let's pick all our supports and leave everything wide open as far as core heroes go. So we'll see what that leads to in the second pick stage. Rave more likely to go for some physical DPS, being on that Dire side. Heroes like the Drow Ranger always come to mind. The Templar Assassin is another good hero, which Rave run as well as Mineski. So
I like this ban. I like that Dusa ban. Yeah, I mentioned it's something Rave like to pull out when they're on the push strats. Also really good with Venge Witch Doctor. You've got the minus armor from the Venge Howl. You've got the bonus physical damage on the Death Ward. And both of these heroes kind of work with the push. You've got the heal coming out, and they could go late game. It's not like they have to push early, but... Well, what's it going to be for Mineski this time? This Lion Chen...
What do they like? They could Shadow Fiend again. The Shadow Fiend Chen is pretty good. Otherwise, looking towards the core heroes, Jay's been playing... he played the Spectre last game. It hasn't really been his go-to so much. The Wisp Tiny is not going to be an option because both teams have their support. Surprised teams like not trying to leave open the possibility of that Wisp Tiny in the second stage.
Yeah, if nothing else, you force a ban or two out.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally see Mineski taking the Chen, but maybe you hold off on that Lion, get, your Axe or Troll or Sniper or Shadow Fiend. They could have opened Chen Shadow Fiend here. I guess Shadow Fiend and Mir maybe not going to have the best lanes for the Tiny Wisp.
Speaking of Axe, still in the pool and one of those good options for offlaners at this point.
The other big thing for Rave is they really value this Queen of Pain first phase ban. I don't think it's that scary of a hero for Mineski. It's more like it's throwing them off their drafting game a little bit because they're used to being able to grab it either first or second phase.
It's Rave who banned the draw ranger themselves, so we're about a Mineski push. Something on the Radiant side, generally want to try and get that slight edge over the Roshan control, considering that it's already closer to the Dire Towers.
There's always Lycan. I mean, everyone's banning Drow as the push hero. You could like ban an Axe and just snap up a Lycan here.
10 seconds
If they wanted
Absolutely,
to. He hasn't been a go-to hero lately, but if you want to push him, he's the OG.
So Mineski have one ban left, and talking about heroes they may want to ban, it's going to be the Sniper for the time
Maybe the
being.
Shadow Fiend now.
Yeah, I feel like the Shadow Fiend Chen is just a good stable. Last game Shadow Fiend worked out well. They don't go right into it. Possibly looking to see what Rave pick up first. So there's your Axe. It's going to be probably your Jesse Vash hero for the offlane.
Two heroes now that can use those jungle stacks, though. So there may be a little competition here for Mineski and over who's going to take the early fatties. But
Yes.
Rave will work on pick number 3. They seem to be going towards physical damage with this Venge Witch Doctor duo.
And that's where Axe is definitely especially good.
They'll be. I think this is almost as much a
Minus
deny
armor.
pick as it is a Rave pick.
Yeah, I think
They
there's
grab
a
that Shadow
element
Fiend.
of both. So they've got a huge amount of minus armor now. This is where Mineski have to be a little bit concerned. They need to make sure they have a good team fight around the Axe, because otherwise they're just going to get taken apart by the SF damage output. But they do have the Chen, so they'll have Mech and Hand of God on their side, but this is just going to be like just straight up single target right click damage with the minus armor is going to be something hard to deal with for the Mineski camp. They definitely want a BKB carry against the Shadow Fiend, generally speaking. You don't really want to just pick something that most carries nowadays are going to go into have the option to go into a BKB.
What do Mineski want? What do they really want here? They have the Axe to initiate. There's not much burst damage to follow up. Only a Finger of Death.
I think TA is quite good for Mineski still. It gives them just a good mid laning hero. I guess it depends if they want to be able to gank and kill the SF, because TA doesn't have huge kill potential until he hits level 6. So if you want to try and roam with the Chen line, you need a different style of hero that can actually
Troll would have been
kill
good,
the
but he's
SF.
banned. What else is
the Sniper, which they banned themselves. So
Yeah.
it really feels like Mineski were hoping to get the SF, but didn't want to pick it third. They wanted the Axe and then the SF, and just got a bit too greedy potentially.
I feel like the Axe is more replaceable than the SF.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because
So-
there's quite a few decent offlaners that can be initiators for your team. We saw the Centaur last game. And they're going to go TA. So it is potentially the way to deal with Shadow Fiend. There is no damage over time, really, from Rave. It's still a pretty strong TA pick on paper.
Yeah.
Rave may want to try and run their safe lane Ember Spirit as a solution for this. Give them some
that's
damage over
That's a
time.
really good option. I mean, they did so well with it last game too. So
There is a Hex, but that's it.
Hex and Blink Call out.
There's like no way to remove Flame Guard here, really.
no good option to Flame Guard, but there are good ways to, I guess, jump onto the Ember Spirit
Yeah.
and try and burst.
It could
burst
go
them
either
down.
way. There you go.
So they'll go with what worked for them. Likely to see Chrissy handling this once more, and looks to be a safe laner. So you have the Ember Spirit for the safe lane. They have a Witch Doctor Venge. One of them can kind of be doing your traditional stacking the jungle up for the Shadow Fiend. The other can help zone out the off lane with the Axe. Likely to be Venge doing stacks and roaming around with Witch Doctor zoning an Axe. Maybe even going for that early point in the Maledict. But last pick for both these teams looks to be a Rave offlaner and a Mineski safe lane farmer, unless they go for that safe lane farming Axe. But seems unlikely to be the option. With the Tide ban, it does lead towards Mineski maybe going for a safe lane farmer that doesn't really have that much kill potential. At least one of the concerns if you're picking something like a Spectre per se or an Anti-Mage is you don't have a kill. You can't really kill or zone out the enemy offlane, especially with a dual laner if you have a Chen jungle. So the Tide ban makes me think they may be leaning towards something that is more of a hard late game carry.
Tidehunter is the ban. Mineski still needing that final core. Rave also. For Rave, it's the offlane initiator. There is a Clockwork. Outside of that, there's a Centaur. he may struggle in his landing stage a bit.
That's a good ban, I think, the Viper. It's just a suitable Mineski pick. Fits their style of looking to dominate the lanes and have a good mid game. And yeah, I think the Clockwork Center are the two ones which come clearly to mind for Rave.
Spirit Breaker is kind of an outlier possibility.
Yeah, so what's it going to be? Bristleback's the other option, so that's a fairly tanky hero
Ooh.
if they want to.
Goes well
take
with the
that
TA.
direction.
Bristle could be good for Mineski.
5 seconds remaining.
Did you mean for Rave?
I meant for Rave, but I mean,
I think it could be good for Mineski too.
Bristle's just a good hero in general.
Seems like we mostly are seeing Bristlebacks in conjunction with the Wisp pick right now. You know, the one other hero Mineski maybe consider is something like a safe lane Invoker, if they wanted to run the Exhort style.
Oh yeah,
It's all about the Axe Blink Dagger at that point, but
they
could be a possibility.
got enough physical right-click damage from a TM, and Exort Invoker offers some too. Necrobook plus Forward Spirits, so I could see Exort Invoker working. They haven't got much time to decide. They're going to have to pick soon through 2 seconds remaining. Anti-mates, they're going the hard carry.
Huh.
Kind of what I mentioned with the Tide ban, where you ban a hero like Tide, it's because you're not going to be able to zone him out, which does mean they were leaning towards the hard carry. It's not the Spectre this game, it's an anti-mage. And you look at this, this doesn't really seem like a good anti-mage game, though.
They don't have great heroes to shut him down as far as ganks go, but they have really good heroes to just run his team over before he comes online.
Yep.
And Rave are going to end it with the Bristleback you were leaning towards for them. Bristle, Ember, Shadow Fiend. Heroes that come online around that 10 to 15 minute mark. Same for the Venge Witch Doctor. Good Roche potential. Good mid game. Pretty decent sieging lineup. I wouldn't say they're exceptional, but they should be able to get the job done in a pinch. And they'll want to be applying that pressure. And if it does go late, they still have good late game. Mineski, it feels like the synergy's a lot more lacking here. You have a TA who really wants like another physical damage dealer to take advantage of. Meld, the anti-mage, kind of a hybrid damage dealer early to mid game. A lot of it comes from the mana burn. They also both need a lot of space. Takes longer to come online. Axe jumps in, but where's the follow-up for the call? It's just a finger of death. I'm not sure. It could work for Mineski, but it feels like there's less synergy in this draft, and Rave should be the favorites because of theirs.
Yeah, I'm liking the Rave draft a lot better here in this game. They've got even going deeper in the game, they've got the good Roshan taking potential. So I think overall things just looking a lot better for Rave as far as having a stable strategy. There's lower room for error, and there's more room for error. Sorry, Mineski, I feel like they've got very few timing windows. Their laning stage is not that dominant. Line anti-mage pretty weak. TA mid is meant to do pretty well against SF, but I feel like there's going to be one window where they're strong, and that's when Axe gets a blink and line hits level 6. That's the one timing where they can create good space for the anti-mage, because
the problem, though, is that Finger has a 160-second cooldown. You get, like, 1 kill during that window, probably.
I'll have to get
hopefully
a kill and then follow it with a tower. That's where the Chen kicks in. So Chen will probably be looking to push down towers as the Axe line kind of get their, well, the blink on the Axe and then the line just having his level 6. Not expecting a blink on him at that point. But.
All right, let's see if Mineski have what it takes. This would be a massive upset if they can bring down Rave. 5th place at DAC. But up against it here with a 1-1 tie going into your deciding Game 3. Ryo will be playing the Bristleback for Rave. Jo on the Shadow Fiend going mid. Ninja Boogie, your Vengeful Spirit support with the early boots picked up. Cast playing the sacrificial role as the Witch Doctor. He bought the Observers and the Sentries. Chrissy will be on your Ember Spirit. And then over on the side of Mineski, you've got Jay on the Anti-Mage this time around. Starts with the stick, expecting the Bristleback in the offlane. He may be forced to skill Blink and just walk away. Actually, no backup for Ninja Boogie, so you can just hoof it out of here. Cuckoo on your TA. Owa on the Chen. They kind of want to see where these wards get dropped. Not sure if they're going to be able to, though. RR playing the Lion. They will Magic Bush block. They'll also drop another one of this big camp just to ensure that it's very difficult to de-ward. And then, of course, the final hero, Jesse Vash, is the offlane Axe.
Yeah, that's I like the warding coming out. So Sentries, I don't think have been picked up. No Sentries on the Radiant side. And Chen, not having money, got this clarity. You really need the level, like the minute 0 Sentries here so you can try de-ward this before the 30-second mark, but not having Sentries really hurts him.
The Chen clarity is just not a crucial item at level 1.
I think you just get the Tangos is not so much for yourself, but to pull mid. Bottom lane, there's a battle over the bounty rune. Nice cast comes in, hits all 3. Jay is going to get the bounty rune, but takes a lot of damage in the process. Almost goes down. The TA in the front lines loses most of the refract pretty quickly. I guess
and he
bounty room
didn't start with
secured.
a salve because he went for this early magic
Oh.
stick. This is really going to hurt Jay.
They got the bounty room, but that does not feel like a good exchange for.
I like
Mineski.
magic stick versus bristle, but I'm not a huge fan of getting it level 1 because you don't really use the mana that well early, and he's not going to be spamming his quills like crazy at level 1.
So
You generally wait until you've got like that level 3 to really go at it.
mid lane Jesse Vash doing some support play here, kind of gets the level 1 battle hunger, is going to push out the Venge from the lane, so TA has a more pure 1v1. But SF with the bounty rune against TA's non-bounty rune means SF is going to have a much easier time in this 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, Cuckoo will be working towards his bottle
Gonna
here, up
bait
to
him in
450 gold.
Venge just trying to trade hits with the axe while the Witch Doctor kind of rotated, but
And that battle hunger is pretty annoying for Ninja Boogie. And he started boots first, so he's really getting punished by this.
yeah.
Good news for Jay, he's going to have some extra tangos on his Lion. Still 3 to give. He may need these against the Bristleback. You ban Tide, but Bristle is probably the harder hero to zone out of the 2 even.
Yep. We'll be quickly out of mana here. He's kind of just using quills to last hit and harass because eventually you're going to just get mana broken by the anti-mage and you may as well kind of chew through your mana early.
Uh-oh, there's another battle hunger in 15 here, Ninja Boogie.
Whoa.
He's one tango left.
Needs
Jesse
to-
Vash may just go for this.
needs to
Even
go
though he's running
suicide,
up
yeah.
2 cliffs, he does not have the boots, actually.
Okay.
With no boots, he can't get in range.
Probably going to suicide on the Venge, or he's going to walk home. Going to walk home.
Buys a smoke. Probably should just suicide.
Slightly faster, I guess, but
Oh, well.
saves like 20 gold potentially. I guess he didn't have anything he could buy with that 70 gold apart from a Clarity, and we'll just walk back and buy a TP instead. So it's probably actually about the same speed since he has a TP now.
So now the lane settled down a bit. Jesse Vash will be 1v1 against an Ember Spear top lane. Kind of an interesting matchup. The one big disadvantage, though, is he starts this at level 1. The Ember's already 3.5. He'll catch up reasonably quickly, but that early level disadvantage, it may be difficult for him to keep
And
up.
if Ember ever goes on you, like you have no way of clearing out the Flame Guard. So around the
It just
like,
comes down
level
to
5
spin lock.
stage-
If he goes on you under a creep wave and you get some good spins,
Yeah.
he's also not blocking any damage coming his way from that counter helix.
He's got 1 armor, which is not good at all. He has got the Stout Shield, which is nice for actually blocking counter helix damage. But
Yeah, there was a really cool guide about damage block recently by someone on Reddit. I forgot who made it, but definitely worth taking a look at. Seems for now Jesse Vash getting enough spins to really put the fear of God into Chrissy, who is forced to back off a bit. I guess I compare this to last game of how little Jesse Vash got on the off lane. He's already higher level than he was at like 4 or 5 minutes into the game, having a much easier time of it.
problem's going to come now with the lane pushing out and Venge up top. There is that kill potential with any sort of a stun. I think the axe likely to go down. He's going in very aggressively to contest these pulls, but I'm not sure that's going to work in his favor.
In the meantime, your Lion will grab a smoke, has the boots. Kind of hard to leave this bottom lane, though. Maybe just something that Chen will use on his own, as Owa is making his way in. Looks like his creep's chilling off mid with a tornado, trying to harass the Shadow Fiend of Jo out, but Jo's still keeping up, actually beating this TA in terms of CS. Pretty hard, and that's with the axe also keeping the Venge off. Very nice start for Jo. Normally a matchup where TA will have the upper hand, but nowadays doesn't seem to be the case as
And
much.
Once it's level 5, he's just going to raise out creep waves. Doesn't even mind if the raises don't actually hit Cuckoo. A matchup where SF is not too worried about trying to burn the defensive refraction down unless there's a support coming into gank.
Yeah, level 1 you can, but beyond that, you just don't bother.
So yeah, now both of them are going to be hitting level 5. TA did get 5 first, despite SF getting the bounty room, which goes back to SF probably similar on denies, but SF has kind of gone for the runes a bit more.
Oh, Chrissy does dodge the call here from Jesse Vash. He's going to dive him with Flame Guard. Has chains. If he gets the chains off, maybe a kill. The Venge going to come in as well. Jesse Vash, though, fairly tanky. Will buy his Tranquils. Looks like he will go down. First blood to Rave. Nice drive-by from Ninja Boogie. Able to worm his way into this top lane and secure an early kill.
Yeah, did all the little things right, too. Trading the tower aggro. So initially it was Chrissy taking the tower, and then he gets it onto Ninja Boogie, who is full HP. So doing everything right there.
Chrissy also dodged the call. The axe tried to call over here and just barely missed.
That's going to give the bottle to fly out for Chrissy, so he's going to be able to stay in this lane. Salves up as well, and his top lane node needs to be
Still,
careful.
they
Bottle
could-
has not arrived.
Oh.
That was close. Almost got that call.
Yeah, RR has not... Actually, I think he might have moved like right over here. I'm not sure if Ember saw him, but he's playing like he did.
Yeah, I think Ember just wants his bottle. He's going to get his bottle out now, so he can heal up.
Gotta say, both offlaners doing pretty well here early on. Level 5 Bristle, despite a tri-lane at times.
Yeah, and 15 CS to the Anti-Mage's 23. Anti-Mage's 10 denies, but Bristle's not losing too much XP out of that. At the end of the day, he's in the lane consistently. He hasn't been zoned out at all, so his XP is perfectly adequate right now, being level 5.5.
Where's that smoke going to get used?
By
RR bought it real early,
yeah.
but I don't know where he goes with this.
Groups up probably the Chen level 3 when you have 2 creeps, if you can get some decent creeps. But Chen is also really underleveled. I haven't been keeping a close eye on OA. He's got
He was like walking back. Uh-oh. They just sent their lion marching in. Actually, Cuckoo maybe going to get caught here. No, it's Jesse Vash who gets caught. Doesn't end up getting the kill. Ninja Boogie. The heal combined with a lack of adequate spins means he will go down. They are trying to cut off Ryo. They really need this kill. This is such a big time investment to bring the Bristle back down. He'll walk a bit to the south, then he jukes to the left. The Hex does come out, though. They needed that one. Now the Impale, the Quills will come out, too, but a Stomp, that was crucial. Owa, level 3.5 off of that. Jesse Vash, Bimbo, almost level 6. In the meantime, though, they lose their TA up near the top side of the map. Got chased down in the end. That means the offlaner and mid both falling here for Mineski.
And Chrissy just picking up where he left off last game. He is just getting kill after kill, dominating his lane, controlling the tempo. This is before the Ember Spirit really truly comes online. He has kill potential in lane, but finding kills before that 10-minute mark where you have your phase drums wand is fantastic. And that's what Chrissy has done here, getting that second kill. And they need to address this issue. They've got a hasted line rotating up top, though, and seems to be that they want to try and get Chrissy.
They are going to jump in there with the call, as you mentioned. Now the Impale coming out, the Hex too. He has the Spirit. I'm not sure if there's one to jump to just yet, but it looks like he'll make it out, barring a spin that connects. Nope, he comes back in for the change, just praying to the gods, goes for the triple remnant. Whoa, Chrissy, that is some serious just praying there. There's an entire creep wave hitting the axe, and he still jumps back in.
You know, as he went for that, I'm like, good for you, Chrissy. That is the kind of play where, yeah, it backfires, but that's the kind of play which is going to, win you big LAN events. Sometimes you got to go ballsy play.
I don't know, man. He could have just walked away there.
Yeah, but...
if he had no other choice, then that's one thing, but he definitely lives if he just remnants out.
Absolutely. He was getting greedy and going for the kill, but he came very close to getting it. Meanwhile, Vengeful Spirit dying to the Chen.
But they lost their anti-mage before that, so that of course is still the bigger trade.
No, it was completely unnecessary for Chrissy, but...
If there was one or two creeps there, I'd say great, but there was 4 creeps hitting the axe. Yeah. Whatever, it was risky, it didn't work out. It was still cool to see anyway, that's for sure.
I thought he had it too. As soon as he threw the triple remnants, I'm like, he's actually going to do this. He's going to turn this one around. But
it slightly cost him in the sense that he doesn't have a remnant to jump back to the lane, so now he had to buy a TP to get back. Yeah. Means he can't TP to counter gank another lane, but... Well, he rolled the dice. It did not work out. When the dust settles there, it really evened the score out, though, getting that kill. Net worth, only a 500 gold lead for the Dire, as well as a 500 experience lead. Now, that said, this Chen pick has not gotten the job done for Mineski. He's level 3. He's behind the enemy Venge and barely ahead of that Witch Doctor.
Doesn't feel like it's going to change, too. Even once your Chen gets a couple creeps and wants to try push towers, Bristleback good defending, Witch Doctor cast good against the Chen. There's AoE damage from SF. From Ember Spirit, the Venge Wave of Terror. They've got plenty of things just to wipe out Chen creeps in no time at all, and also just prevent them from moving in with the stuns as well to go with it. So this is just not going to be a good Chen game. I think Owen need to get more done in the early game laning stage. He's been involved in a couple kills, but...
A lot of it does come down to that level 1 movement from Rave. Not just the sentries they got down, but also this ward that they plopped over here, which...
Yeah.
Over towards the Radiant mid, which really scouted out a lot of the Chen as well as the Lion's early movements. But yeah, I would agree. He hasn't gotten the job done, and I'm not sure if Owa will be able to have the big impact we've seen out of him on other heroes, like his Earthshaker.
Well, we'll see them now smoke for their ping.
They think Roche is happening, I believe.
Yeah, that is not happening. Bristle's down bottom. I'm surprised. I guess, what? SF's been missing for a long time in the jungle.
Oh, no, they want this ward. They want this ward. Okay.
That makes... No, I'm like... there's no way Roche is going on, but this is really good vision for a tier 1 tower push bottom with the Chen, but they're going to first swing towards mid.
They do drop a cask here. Your anti-mage able to blink on out. And they may get the much bigger kill. Jo would be so huge to bring down. They're going to get him too. It looks like Hex coming out. Impale to follow with the call. They have a dunk available. They may even need it. There's your chop to bring him down. That's a big kill. Jo had 70 CS. Was a level ahead of the TA before that kill. It really swings the game back around. And they also grabbed the Witch Doctor. This ward paying dividends, GoDz. That super hill ward bottom spotted his movement into the river. And with 2 smooth strikes, Mineski surge ahead in this game, and they make it a 5-4 kill lead. It's going to be about dead even on gold and experience now. Very nice turn for them.
SF still slightly on top of the net worth, but just Mineski having anti-mage kind of in the picture. He's up there with the SF, unlike last game where the Spectre was always playing catch-up, always a couple thousand gold behind the Ember Spirit, and just things were even behind the Sniper as well. So this game is looking much better as far as the big picture is concerned for Mineski, because their mid-game is going to be very much, okay, Axe gets blinked, we find a kill here or there, but they're going to be looking to go late game with this anti-mage TA.
Yeah, Rave in theory have good late game as well. Tons of physical damage, good minus armor. But in practice, they will struggle to deal with the split push. They don't have that offlaner like an Axe or a Bat Rider who can gank the anti-mage. It's a bristleback. They're more about taking Roche, pushing towers, and starving Mineski rather than just trading farm.
Well, Misbrick gets the top tier 1 tower, and this is the stage where Chrissy, 11 minutes in, phase drums 1, has 900 gold on top, but more importantly has levels. He's level 9 and ready to fight, but he's getting ganked out.
The Lion pick might be the thing that really does Chrissy, and if they can
Hex?
just get that quick Hex on him, they do. Followed up with a Battle Hunger, they need the Impale, then they'll need a call, like 1 or 2 spins and a chop. Chrissy goes down. It seems the difference of this game has just been having lockdown for Ember. He'll die twice. He had 1 death the entire game last time around. Not snowballing. And this time, it's Jay who's also not dying too much. We saw his Spectre really struggle. Only the 1 death on the anti-mage, and he's also got 2 kills as they'll jump it on mid. A hasted TA moving in onto... maybe onto a Requiem. Wants to be careful here. Avenge Stun will keep Cuckoo off for now.
And the Line Finger's still on cooldown, but very soon it's back up. 35 seconds, and Jesse Vash hitting that blink timing at a kind of around when the Line Finger comes back up. So that's where I think Jesse Vash going to look to team up with RR and go find that next big pick-off. The Shadow Fiend, the Ember Spirit, both of those 2 juicy targets to get, and they can burst them down with that finger. Set up, get them into the dunk range and try bring them down.
Oh, he's got it in 20. Cask will bounce, but now just to the neutrals. Gets off the Hex on Cast. No real follow-up. That puts the Hex on cooldown for 30 seconds. It does have a very long cooldown here early on.
Also short mana for the Impale plus Finger combo, so...
Yeah, he just wants that blink call, and then he'll just zap. He's probably not bothering, but I don't know if they can get the bristle with that.
No.
It's got to be a support, or they'll need 2-3 spins.
Pinging things out a bit here. Maybe just wait for the mana regen as well to kick in, but a pause coming for now. Looks like there are rotations coming down bottom. Mineski going to be bringing the Chen, bringing the Anti-Mage as well, who is looking like he'll get a pretty decent timing on the Battle Fury. It's already 12.5 minutes, but he got the Treads, so it'll be a Treads Battle Fury, and probably around the 14-15 minute mark, which is definitely good. You're kind of meeting your quota at that point.
We'll see if Rave are able to gank him, but this Anti-Mage will be a bit more difficult to wrangle down than a Spectre. Vanguard is complete on Bristle, despite that blip on the radar for Rave. When it comes to net worth, they are in the lead here. They took the tier 1 top. RR walking in, getting caught by a Cask. Now, Cask throws out the Maledict. The Chen army comes in. The finger is used to try and turn this. They will get the kill with the Test of Faith, but it comes at the cost of both supports down. Also not getting to reveal Jesse Vash's Blink Dagger in any kind of meaningful way. As Jay is going to blink into the tree line. He'll probably be selling his Stout Shield, and yeah, he's just going to go for some split push, but guess who's waiting to deny him? It's J.O., who can just raise him out of the lane.
Yeah, not here Antimate can really fight in a 1v1 lane at the moment. That was big kills for Rave to be getting. The finger going on cooldown as well. Yeah, it got them a kill, but it wasn't a very valuable kill. They want to be killing and hunting high priority targets like J.O. on the Shadow Fiend or the Ember Spirit of Chrissy when they have that available, and it was just a Chen with a solo kill. Yeah, Chen gets level 6, gets the headdress up towards the mech, but not really a valuable kill for Mineski. They don't turn it into an objective. It's just like okay, it wasn't a 2 for 0, we made it a 2 for 1, but still a big loss for Mineski there.
The other concern for Mineski, GoDz, is they only have 1 smoke, and it's a minute until it cools down, and that's it for a very long time.
Yeah, you want to have ample smokes once you get that kind of blink on your axe. I feel like maybe they went through a few too many in the early game with their Venge Chen.
Meanwhile, Rave just used 1 and still have 2 available for purchase.
Oh, no tier 1 tower here to protect them. This is bad for Mineski.
So they lose Cuckoo here. Chain's coming out. Maybe going to send him back just to save his buddy. Hand of God will come out. And it looks like in the end, the teleport back to base will be enough to keep the TA alive, but costing them the Chen as well as Hand of God. The big story here, though, is Jay has a timely farming item in the Battle Fury. Much quicker than the Radiance we saw last game. TP. Oh, hello, Ryo. This could be big. They'll catch him out. They have no finger. Monovoid is available. They're going to need everything to bring him down. Monovoid and the dunk. Kill secured.
Jesse Vash, though, not getting out of this one. Chris is going to get at least a 1 kill on Jesse, thinking about more, but everyone else is kind of backed off already. Ara gets the TP out from the secret shop. Even Fire Remnant forward, but not going to find anything.
That was pretty cool. Hit just like Fire Remnants over the tree line, right past Jay. Doesn't actually damage him, fortunately, though. Well, it is a 1-for-1, which in favor is good for Mineski, but they had to commit a Monovoid for that, as Requiem will come out, catches on the Chen. Cuckoo able to fight his way through this until the Ember Spirit comes in. It's starting to feel like a rerun of game number 2, as Rave just continue to pile up kills on cores. The one carry not dying is Jay. But it's just a matchup-wise not a good game for an anti-mage to fight. Tons of physical damage, tanky heroes, low mana pools, no really excellent Monovoid targets.
Oh, Jay at bottom is very low on HP as well. Even Drum to get down here faster. Ember, he blinks into the Ember. Bye-bye.
That really hurts.
Too greedy there, and no Radiant Vision protecting his jungle. That was just going for a bit too much, and considering his farm's at a decent place, he doesn't need to be making those kind of risky plays. He's not like, it's not like you're behind like 5k net worth on the enemy carry. Top lane, but Blink Call onto Ninja Boogie. Gonna get the stun off. Jesse Vash gonna not get the chop. Actually misses it completely.
Then the swap and the mech. Now he tries to TP out. Jo raises him, brings him down, pounds him with those gigantic claws. Gets the kill. In the meantime, also a Chen death mid.
Things falling apart.
Mineski crumbling under the onslaught as Rave just zap themselves forward. They zero in on a 2-1 victory here. Now up to 7,500 gold lead, a 5,000 experience lead, and more importantly, all the map control they could ever hope for.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like this TA pick is doing too much this game. Not having access to the Roshan just makes one of the heroes' big kind of reasons to be picked gets taken out of the picture, and we see this Ancient Sack being contested. Bristleback wants a piece of it. He's got a Crimson Guard too, so this Bristle as an offlaner has a ton of farm. It's going to offer a lot to the team.
We did start the draft saying we weren't sure about the synergy of the Mineski lineup, and I think unfortunately that continues to be the concern for them, GoDz. They have the Chen Lion, not really the best roaming duo. Also not that good at winning all the lanes. Maybe you can win one lane with the Chen creeps. Oh, on top of that, maybe he didn't balance his farm and his ganking that well. But you look at the TA pick, what does that really do in combination with an anti-mage? They both just want to split push and farm. The Axe has no reliable burst outside of a finger, which, as we've seen, is normally on cooldown this game. It's just a lineup that seems to lack synergy. They had very few windows where they can peak. Honestly, even if it goes 30 minutes from now, I'm not sure if they have the edge then. Chen falls off. TA and Anti-Mage scale pretty well, but so too does this whole dire lineup.
Rave is going to have 3 farmed physical damage cores against an Anti-Mage. They're going to have no problem at all. And even their supports offer some additional physical damage or amplify the physical damage of those heroes in the case of the Venge. So there's plenty of options as far as fighting into the Anti-Mage. It's going to be much more about preventing him from split pushing. Can you catch Anti-Mage if he's split pushing a lane while you on a 5-man? And that's a little bit harder. They haven't got any hexes. They have only got a magic missile, which can be easily dodged and disjointed. So that's where life gets a bit harder when Jay's split pushing with like a battle-free Manta style, if they can get to that point.
Jesse Vash will go for a blink call, though. He's going to cancel Chrissy's TP. They get the Lion into range. No, can't hex in time because he was sleight of fisting. Able to barely retreat. That was close to getting a crucial kill there on him.
Chen completely out of creeps. They get taken out at the top lane, and now
in the meanwhile, Hasted Cuckoo just hunting this dire courier. Oh, Jay! Almost walked into a Requiem. Jay saw him like stutter step and just hesitated. But he will make it out.
Looks like bottom lane's where they want to fight. Chrissy going to go in. Here's vision of them. Gets him. Only gets one with the Searing Chain.
Those jukes! Those jukes! What an outplay by Chrissy! Fogged him every step of the way and then just slashes him with that sword as he commits to the wraparound.
Rave just using vision so well. And they're against a team with TA traps and just able to outmaneuver them with just a couple nice observer wards.
Chrissy's individual play has been so impressive lately. Ember in particular seems to be his hero.
We have to start seeing some teams target ban this if they're going to keep playing it this damn well. But for now, it's It's Rave with a Game 3 edge here. This is the winner bracket match, so Mineski not going to be knocked out of the Summit 3, but will be dropped down to that lower bracket. And I think versing the winner of CSW... oh no, they're versing CSW, I believe. It's not even the winner of. So I think the loser of this match goes on to face CSW in round 2 of the lower bracket.
Yes. Because you drop down to the other side of the bracket to avoid a rematch at that stage.
Jay doing all he can, working on that Manta style next, but Tower's going to start getting kind of claimed one by one if Rave have anything to say about it. They've got Aegis on Jo, Shadow Fiend, and the Manta complete on Chrissy. Not quite the same potency of this Manta style as getting out of silence. If you get Blink Hexed or Lions... Does he have his Blink? No, he's not even close. What are we talking about? Even if you get Hex, the Manta's not going to help you, but it does create some confusion in general. And that it's still a good item on the Ember Spirit, even without that Skywrath on the other team.
Pressure is mounting here as Rave are going to dial themselves in on the bottom lane. Looking to take down the tier 2. They'll be successful with that, and now maybe even threaten high ground. Again, an endless network of D-ward attempts as well as aggressive wards. They're just getting plopped down all over the place. They made jump here on Ryo, though. There's your Blink call to start it off, but double damage TA is coming in. This is a big kill. I don't even know if they can kill him with the
They're going to
Crimson
defend bottom,
Guard.
by the way, LD. They're losing their tier 3 tower.
RR getting caught out here as well by Chrissy. Has another Remnant, not wanting to use it. Will zip back. The Chen Tornado going high in the skylines as Jo will be forced back. They actually do a decent job here of defending, though. Out comes your initial battle hunger. Had no blink on Jesse. But they do force Jay back. Not a terrible hold. They don't lose any heroes. No real high ground breach.
Slightly slow down their farm, but Jay, as soon as that hold is made, he's blinking towards the mid lane, but they're going once more. They're looking to poke again at this bottom lane. No glyph available.
This time Jay doesn't have a TP, so he's either committing to a push here, or he's ready to back off almost instantly.
Yeah, Jay just wants to keep on poking at this tier 3.
He's not even pressuring lanes now. He's farming Ancients. Dire team sees this. They say, great, Rave, we're just going to keep on pressuring. Why the hell not? The blink call from Axe will do nothing but draw illusions back. Not ideal as Jay walks forward, but he can't really go into this team without a nice blink call to start it. Else he's just going to feed. They want some good initiation. Jesse Vash trying desperately to find a way, and it's Jo he jumps on, but he gets swapped out. Swap is on cooldown now, but it gives them time to continue laying into the racks. The goo, the raises, they'll be enough for a kill. Chrissy barely even tickled by the anti-mage ultimate here. Not good enough. Mana Void's down. Your blink call only now cooling down. They have no finger. They're going to lose a lane of racks. Rave are so damn close to taking this series and making themselves a guaranteed top 3 team in pole position to qualify for LAN.
And they're going to take the safe approach, back off, TP defend their lanes, work towards their next level of items. You've got big amounts of gold on multiple heroes here. 5k gold on your SF. You've got 2k on your Witch Doctor, 1500 on Ember and Bristleback. This is looking really good for them. The age is about to expire as well, and that's where backing off then and there was probably a good decision, not letting Mineski get a chance to maybe find that pick-off or initiation on SF where he gets caught out without the ages.
They do continue to farm quickly on Jay, at the very least, but like you said, it's just going to come down to the next Roche, and then Rave probably just looking to end this game. Will they overextend? Will it matter if they do? You just see Mineski match up so poorly in a head-on fight.
Jay's never going to really be able to team fight very well this game. He's always going to be looking to split push as his first option and only team fight if it's like, well, we're going to lose a lane of racks and I'm not even going to get a T2 tower. Then he's going to look to TP back and fight. But if they're pushing and attacking the T3 tower at mid, if he can get a T2 top tower, he will. Right now, it's just there's nothing he can really do in a fight. Even when this Manta style gets completed, you're fighting into too much minus armor and just too many heroes. There's no intel heroes with big mana void kind of potential. The Witch Doctor's probably got the biggest mana pool, but even that isn't very impressive.
Ryo will even show himself mid and almost taunting Mineski to come after him as they display 4 heroes.
Not had much luck trying to kill this Bristleback this game.
That's the problem. It's who do you go on? Shadow Fiend's got the Sanjin Yasha mech, and I think there's a BKB coming. No, just a completed Eye of Scotty. Okay, well, you're not going on Jo anymore. Maybe the Ember. The Ember is probably the ideal carry to jump, but the problem is Chrissy's very elusive.
Oh, Jesse at top. Gonna walk into Chrissy here, but not get too close. He blinks out, plays it safe, but Rave are going for some more 5-man down the top lane this time. Antimage on the other side of the map. Taking out the Dire Ancients is saying that's the safest place to farm and likely to even go for like the tier 1 bottom tower if he can. No,
You can
going for
take
the
two
mid,
tier 1s. You can take mid, you can take bottom, but the problem is there's 2 glyphs he has to fight through.
Yeah, you use those glyphs. There we go.
They blink call Ryo, though, dragging him towards their tower mid. He didn't get to use his Crimson Guard, which may prove to be the difference maker. Are they going to back him up the meld? Oh, they need like one more blink meld. He gets swapped back and healed up. Mech earn. No, they can't get him. Oh, that hurts.
That would have been huge here as well. That's a big hero to bring down before the high ground push comes, but now he's already almost back to full HP
It
with
was
all the
very
heals.
cocky by Ryo to be just walking down mid while his team's at the tier 2 top, but the bullet is dodged.
This is a DD Ember Spirit as well.
They get the blink call again. It's on
swap.
Chrissy. Finger was used. They get 1 kill. They fight into the Requiem, though. Cask bouncing to Jay. Melted by Jo, and now they chase for more. Jesse Vash dealt with. Double buyback from the cores. God, they need a lot out of this. Tia doesn't even have refraction. Cuckoo just TPs it and dies. There's a Mana Void from Jay. Just maybe Mineski can hang on here. No, Jesse Vash dropping quickly. Jay deciding to hesitate. He backs off. He goes back in. Who's he going to go for? He's got the gem.
He's
Need
not
more
doing any
kills.
damage. They have
Need
no mana.
something here. Ryo's out of
does
mana.
nothing. He doesn't do enough damage when he has no mana pull.
He really should have gone on Jo, I think, if anything. But yeah, Ryo's just too damn tanky. Could even use this Cryptic Guard again.
Yep.
They're not getting this one, it feels.
Doesn't look like it. SF is ditching his buddy there. He's going to turn and fight now. Jay without a blink for a couple seconds. Forced out. Mantis! He doesn't blink out initially. Ryu going to survive. Well,
That right there is that's the game in a microcosm. They just can't beat through these tanky cores.
they hold for now. Multiple buybacks were used, I believe, the TA as well as the Axe
Anti-Mage.
and Anti-Mage.
And Axe, actually.
All 3 cores. Goodbye to any item progression right there. They didn't. Anti-Mage's got a couple kills. I guess he kind of breaks even. Like the money he spent on the buyback, he kind of got most of that back, but he didn't really gain gold.
The one thing they really gained was the gem. They did take away Ninja Boogie's gem from that.
Yep.
It's currently sitting in Jay's stash, but at the same time, I don't even think Rave are going to be flustered without vision.
LD, this is a fast Roshan respawn as well. This is coming up soon, and Rave has no issues bringing that
Could
down.
well be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they're in perfect position. They should be able to take this without any kind of contest. Mineski are just in their own base, apart from the Anti-Mage who's split pushing top. Don't really have the pick-off potential on the Anti-Mage, but all they have to do is keep the lanes pushed out. And Ember Spirit, one of the better heroes to push out the lane while you're pushing, and then come back to the fight with the Fire Remnant. So it should be not too much of an issue for Rave to deal with the Anti-Mage split push while going for their own 5-man push.
If Jay finds the Ember away from a tower, I'm pretty sure he can force him back, but if he's at the tower, he takes some damage. He's got to be very cautious about that +1 TPN and potentially just braining him down off the bat. So he will, as soon as he sees the Ember, just retreat, who now finds him. Gonna pop that Manta. Chrissy will now be forced to run, but the Cask will bounce onto Jay, takes a Maledict, Death Ward quickly used. They'll swap Cast out. That was awkward.
If that Cask bounced back to the Anti-Mage there, he could have died.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a 50-50 chance it goes to the other illusion or the real hero.
Jay just can't find anywhere to go. All he wants to do is hit creeps. Jesse Vash is
dying back.
gonna take the bullet for him.
Yeah. Didn't need to do that. I think he thought Anti-Mage was in more trouble than the Axie was.
That's dieback number 1. It may not be the last one here for Mineski.
Yeah, Jay is got to push out maybe the mid lane here. Finds Ryu.
They just this is not the hero you want to go on, unfortunately. We saw how hard Ryo was to bring down before. Now that he's out of mana, he takes no damage. Jay, this dieback number 2, he's able to Manta. Blinks himself to the south.
They still burn all of Bristle's mana, which is annoying for Rave, but end of the day, it's not stopping their push. They're still going high ground. They're still going to look to make this happen and end Game 3 the decider.
Rave are close. They came into this qualifier as the favorites. They've not won yet, but they continue to look like the team to beat. There was a blip in the radar in Game 1, it seems, but they've been back to basics here in Games 2, and now potentially Game 3. Lane into the melee racks top, they'll get it. They need only one more lane, and they will advance to the winner bracket finals. That would put them 2 series away, GoDz, from coming to LA. They're damn close.
Jay just farming wherever he can. Radiant Ancients goes creep skipping, but
maybe
should
be cutting the mid wave, but at this point it doesn't really matter. There's going to be creeps in the base bottom. They'll have to fight regardless. Jay, time's up. Come back, put up or shut up. They're going to swap in the Axe. They'll lose him. That's a dieback on the Axe as well.
Gets his BKB money. That's what he was waiting for.
Oh, no. Actually, I guess he died back earlier, so that's just another death. Either way, a rather impotent Mana Void from Jay. Takes the Maledict, Deathborn, Requiem, die back from your Anti-Mage. On the sidelines for 90. That's it. That's all she wrote. Mineski will drop down here to the loser's bracket. Rave, the dominant Pinoy squad, at least for now.
Yeah. Made a close series. Again, Rave, though, not having these 2-0 series against teams where coming into this tournament, they should be beating these teams. If they want to be the top dog in SEA, you've got to be able to 2-0 people. And it's not just here against Mineski. It was in round 1 against MVP Hot 6. These teams are still taking games off Rave, and that's where, even should Rave make it to a grand finals or something here in the qualifiers, like, you have your best day against Rave, or Rave have a bad draft, an off day, suddenly Rave is maybe not making it to the main event. So definitely a team that Mineski and Hot 6 will take away from this, is that we can actually take games off of Rave. They're not perfect. They can be beaten.
Well, with that said, GoDz, this will conclude our first series. What do we have coming up next? It's the other winner bracket semifinal, which is going to be our...
and Phoenix, I believe. 5EVER versus
Five
MVP.
Forever versus Phoenix. Yeah. That's right. I'm getting confused because the Join Dota MLG League is also going on, and they have like all the same teams playing in SEA. Yeah. So you see like a matchup, it's like, oh, that sounds like it could be a match from our tournament, but it's not. Yeah. Next match, guys, is going to be 5EVER versus MVP Phoenix. Winner of that will play Rave. Loser's going to drop down to the losers bracket and play the other MVP squad.
Okay.
So with that said, GoDz, that wraps it up. Mineski still looking strong here. I could easily see them getting back in into the finals, having a rematch, but now they have no more second chances. They have to win out to come to LAN.
SE is just interesting.